Hello everybody, we are going to be using Excel's VLOOKUP function, Excel's COUNTIF function, a pivot table, and we're going to do some graphing in this case. We're going to be using the census data from 2010, and number one says, use the VLOOKUP function, create a new column, and in this column we should have the description, error if the population is less than 1, small in that range, medium in this range, large in this range, and very large when it's over 500,000. After that, we want to create a table showing the counts for the various categories. So let's get busy over here. This is the Excel file. I like it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a copy. And this is going to be part 1. And now I'm going to make another copy. And this is going to be for rename part 3. That way I don't hurt my original data if I have to go back and start again. What we need to do is we need over here, we'll just widen this a little bit. Column width, I like 12. We will go description. And in this field, I want to put in, make it bold, center. I want to put in those words, error, small, medium, large, very large. I've already created a little table, and I'm going to take this table. Might as well take the whole thing now. We'll do a copy, put it here. We're going to put it back into I over there. Paste, and we have to widen this again. Column width, we'll go to 12. Make this nice and bold. Keep everything nice and neat. And this is for the second part. So what I really want Excel to do, I want it to look over here, then go to this table, and take the appropriate description and put it back over here. In fact, it needs to go and look up the correct description, and it needs to look from the bottom, at least from the top to the bottom, which is why it's a vertical lookup. So let's have a look at the formula here. It'll be equals. Let's zoom this up a little bit. Oops. We'll go equal, capitals, V, you don't have to use capitals, VLOOKUP. Look up what? Look up the number here, comma, then go to this range, and we have to be a little careful. We have to use the F4 because we're going to be copying this range down, and we wanted to keep at this range. Look over here, then go to this table, and I want you to give me the second value in this table, and it doesn't have to be exact, which is why I need to type in here true. They make the rules, if it's not exact, you type in true. Let's just do an enter, and it did. It went and it looked up. And what this is the lower bound. So small starts at 1 and goes all the way up to just before 15,000. Medium starts at 15,000, goes all the way just before 50,000. It's put the right word in. I need to copy this down, watch the plus sign, and a swift left double click, and we're down. Let's just check. 27,000 is medium. That's correct. Do we have a very large over here? Very large, over 500,000. It's correct. So number 1 is done. What we need is a screenshot, and you have the instructions in the case. And also what we need to do is we might need to use the snipping tool to just get a screenshot of the first, how many rows? The first however many rows, the first 10 rows. Part number 2. Create a table showing the counts for error, small, medium, large, and very large, the total of the 5 counts, and the count for the error category should be 0 because we actually don't have any that are 0 or lower. Here it is. I have a small table here. I have the descriptions here, and now I need to do a count. I'm actually going to use COUNTIF equal COUNTIF. Well, COUNTIF what? COUNTIF in the range from F2, which starts there, F2 all the way down to F3144. There are 3,143 records plus the header. Go to that range and count if you see something equal to that, I10. You did I in lowercase, that's fine. It said there were no errors. I'm going to go have a look at this formula again, F2, and I just need to be careful. If I copy it down, I need to go with an F4 so that it's $F$2. Press F4 again so that it's $F$3144. Enter. It leaves this the same, but now I can copy it down. I have the correct counts, I believe. I need the total, and for the total we can go auto sum over here. It's good. 3,143. Let's get this a little tidy. We'll format the cells, number, no decimal places, 1,000 separator. We're good. My caps lock is on. Turn it off. We can make this bold, and you can put a little underline, or you can make it stand out as a real total, and that should be good. Note, it said it couldn't find any, it could find 0 errors over here, which is correct. And we can't really use pivot tables, because if we use the pivot table, it cannot count. We cannot count how many errors it has if there are no errors there. So a pivot table wouldn't work as well. That's part 2. Done. 3. Read the histogram section. Create a histogram of the population numbers using the intervals up to 49,999 and higher. The last interval is for all populations, 500,000 and higher. We're going to go back. Let's have a look and see what we have here. I'm going to go part 3, and once again I'm going to use VLOOKUP. You know, we might as well just change this a little bit here. We'll go copy part 3, paste, and we're going to take description over here. And what we're going to do now is we are going to do the bottom of the range, starting with 1 people. That is going to be strata number 1. Starting at 50,000, we are going to have strata number 2. Starting at 100,000, strata number 3. And I'm going to go here, equal that, plus 50,000. And I think I need to go to row number 12. No, too much. Clear contents, 1, 2, 3, and we go. So what we have here is strata number 1 is starting at 1. Strata number 2 starting at 50,000. And we'll go and we will use VLOOKUP again. Sorry about that, don't mean to make you dizzy. And we will go again, equals. I'll turn on the caps lock. VLOOKUP. Look up what? Look up this number, which is E2. Look it up in this range and give me the value that you see in column 2, and it does not have to be exact, which is why it is we type in true. That's just what the rules say. And what I need to do here is I need to highlight it, press F4 so it changes to $I, $2, highlight this, F4, $J, $12, and now we're good to go. It did it right. It looked up, it found it, it said it's in Strata 2. We'll copy this down. You see what I did? I went here, got the plus sign, swift left double click, and it copied it all the way down. 182 is in Strata 4, correct. 118 is in Strata 3, and you can try a few on your own. And I think I need the word strata there. Now, I'm going to add up how many I have in each stratum, and so for this we actually will use the pivot table. I'm going to go insert pivot table. It's got the range right, and it's got the range right because my cursor was there. Okay, what I need is strata, 2 rows, strata here, and we won't get it to sum, but we will get it to value field settings count. Now I have 2,167 in strata number 1, 398 in strata number 2, and I'm going to go and copy this over here. It's easier to do the graph. And watch, I'm going to go equals, and I'm going to type B4. I'm not going to put my cursor there and point. I'm going to type equals B4, and we'll do enter. We might as well go back here and put this here, but for my graph I actually want to show the upper bound. So I'm going to just put this here as a reminder. The upper bound of this strata, the first one, is 49,999. The upper bound here is 50,000 higher. And if I copy this down, it should see the pattern. No, it didn't. And we'll go equal that plus 50,000. And now we're good to go. Plus sign, double click, and we should be good over here. This one is actually, we can rename this 500,000 and higher. We'll format this. Format cells, number, 1000 separator. We're good. I can almost do my histogram. And if you wanted to know what a histogram is all about, this is my book, Forensic Analytics. This is the write-up on a histogram. Everything, almost everything you ever wanted to know about histograms, but were afraid to ask. Here's a histogram of the purchasing card data in my book, and let's go, there we go. This is what a histogram is. It gives us the count in each interval. These are numbers up to and including $200. These are numbers from higher than 200, but and going all the way to 400. These are the counts, and it tells me we have lots of small numbers, and very few higher numbers. This last interval here is for numbers 2800 and higher. Watch here, we have interval count, upper bound of intervals, and let's go and do our own histogram over here. I'm going to graph this. I'm going to highlight it. We will go insert, column, almost good. I'm going to move this, move the chart to a new sheet, and we will call this histogram. Very good, it's moved. Make it a little smaller over here, and now we have a bit of tidying up. I need the upper bound over here, so I'm going to go, watch, I highlighted this, right click, select data, axis labels, edit, go back to where they are, highlight, OK. Beautiful, it's changed it. And we will do OK over here. I need to do a chart title, and what we can do is just put in county populations. And we're going to make this a little bigger and bolder. We'll do that. Home, we'll make it 16 and bold. I now need to put in labels over here. This is the count, and you know, we can tidy this up as well. We can do format axis, we can do number, we can do number, no decimal places, use the 1000 separator, and we should be good. And now I need to put in these labels, and the way we do that is we will go to, I think it's design, but which design is it? It's this design. It's this design, and we go add chart element, axis titles, primary horizontal, and we will go right over here. Let's just check what it's in the book. Upper bound of interval, interval count, upper bound of interval, and we need this to be a little bigger so that we can actually read it without using a telescope. We'll do that later, since we're here. We will go design, add chart element, axis title, primary vertical. And now you have to do a little fancy footwork, get the cursor right there, and we will go interval COUNT, interval count. Highlight this. Home. Let's make it 12 and bold, and we'll go here. Let's make this 12 and bold, and we're still just a little, almost done. These are a little skinny, so why don't we do format data series. Right here, we'll take the gap width, and we will reduce the gap width down to 100. It's going down. That should work nicely. And we can close this again. And I have a beautiful histogram, labeled, titled. Over here we can do format the axis. We can actually move this up to 12 as well, make it nice and bold. We can take this, we can move it up to 12, and we can make it nice and bold. It's good. A screenshot, and we're pretty much good to go there. Is the county population positively or negatively skewed? I have a write-up in the book. It says we have a skewness measure. A positive skewness is usually the pattern found in dollar amounts. And in general, when we have lots of small numbers, the numbers are positively skewed. Lots of small numbers, few big numbers, that is positively skewed. There we go. A positive skewness. If we have a large bias towards many small numbers, which we have, the data is positively skewed. And so the answer here is it is positively skewed. Give an example of a data set that would be negatively skewed. You can think of some examples. One that comes to mind is student grade point averages. There we would want to have more numbers that are high and only very few that are low. Review the case submission checklist and you're done. If you want a little extra reading, in the links below you can click and you will see amongst other things this document, VLOOKUP links, useful links from Microsoft's site and useful links on Histogram, and a little link there telling you what might happen if you see the if you want to use, or if you see the if error function.